Sie hören Sport und Musik.
Das Spiel ist aus! Deutschland ist Weltmeister!
Mario Götze! Mario Götze!
Tonight, whether you call it football, or soccer, a German American and a German in America dare to call it Fußball. German foosball from an American point of view. Let's add some buns to that hamburger and join them for the Schnitzel Boys Deutschland Hour.
Jawohl!
Yeah. Hello. Sorry we're a little late.
A little later.
Later than usual. Not late. I had another call I had to be on.
But late for you on the East Coast. On Twitter, I wanted to announce we have Greg Talk coming up in the next segment, the next hour, next episode.
I'm sorry.
And I was like, it's at 7:45 Pacific, 10:45 Eastern. So it's like for anyone on the East Coast, if you want to tune in at 11 o'clock at night on a weekday to talk Greg, that's what we do.
People are fired up. People are fired up.
Well, let's see. But anyway, there's the Germany hour.
Yeah, and we're going to
the Germany half hour.
The Germany half hour.
We got the Euros this Friday.
But we are also trying to unseat an incumbent in this hour.
That's right. Because I guess the big talk in Germany right now is Manuel Neuer.
Yeah.
What Greg is to the U.S. fan base. I can't make that comparison.
I was going to say. I think I've gone about as far with the analogy as it will. Yeah.
But Neuer, I've to credit myself, I've brought this up several times over the years. Mm-hmm. However, in Germany, it's now a bigger discourse because Manuel Neuer is a little bit older than he used to be. Like obviously,
like all of us, really.
He spilled against Real Madrid. He captained Bayern München to a season with no titles. He was also the captain of the last two Germanys that couldn't get out of the group. Like his captaincy has not been amazing, and he did a pretty big spill against Greece on Friday.
He did win the World Cup in 2014.
He wasn't captain. Father Philip Lahm was captain.
Oh, okay.
That's
the captaining. The captaining is the problem. Okay.
The leadering has been pretty poor under him. Germany divided itself. Mesut Özil quit soccer and became one of Erdogan's
That was
presidents.
Neuer's fault.
Well, he was part of that crew that led the division. We lost to England in the Euros, and we didn't get out of the group again. And then under Neuer, he spilled the
oh my God, he
Real
really
Madrid.
is a failure.
And then last week against Greece, you saw his spill against Greece. They gave Greece an early goal.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
That's why we're talking about it.
It was a poor clearance, yeah.
Poor clearance.
Well, also, the other thing is, it's not like there's nobody else. We have Marc-Andre ter Stegen, who's been very good for Barcelona for many years and really has barely played. Although he was in goal. He was in goal when Neuer was hurt and didn't win any titles either. So
that's not true. That's not true. He was in goal. I guess Neuer wasn't hurt. But Marc-Andre ter Stegen only played one tournament for the German national team. That's the 2017 Confederations Cup, when they destroyed everybody. And that was the last time the German national team was excellent.
Wait, what was at the World Cup? Played at the World Cup?
Which World Cup?
The Qatar World Cup.
Manuel Neuer played at the World Cup.
He wasn't. He was back for that? No.
Yeah. Yes, he was.
Oh, that was before he had the ski thing. That's right.
This was after his second ski. He was injured before Qatar, you're right. But he got recovered a few months beforehand. He was ready to go. And he went straight into Qatar. Then he broke his leg again. He's had a couple layoffs since older years. He's broken his leg twice, I think. Maybe three times.
Right. Okay, yeah. I was briefly confused. Okay, so ter Stegen has won the Confed Cup.
He got one tournament, 2017 Confederations Cup. Germany did so well that FIFA didn't want to host that tournament anymore.
That was 7 years ago. They
7 years ago.
Destroyed the entire, not just that edition, but the entire tournament.
The entire concept of the tournament
by Marc-Andre ter Stegen. Well, if you say it like this, so why don't we run Neuer out of town?
Well, that's the talk. They're like, Marc-Andre ter Stegen is 32, so both keepers are about to step down pretty soon, I think.
32? 32 is nothing for a goalie.
Well, let's hope so. Because Manuel Neuer, this has to be his last tournament, right? And people are saying like,
One would think.
Should Marc-Andre ter Stegen start now? Is for the talk. Let's get him in there early, you know. But Germany's always had this. You can help me out with this, because Jens Lehmann would have never played for Germany if it wasn't for Jürgen Klinsmann shaking things up. You know, Jens Lehmann was considered the second best goalkeeper in the world after Ali Khan or whatever. That's sort of the joke. And Jens Lehmann never got any minutes until Jürgen Klinsmann purposely liked to shake things up and benched Khan and let Lehmann play. Historically, that would have never have happened. Historically, there's a keeper. He's a keeper like forever. And there's very capable standby keepers that just have to sit on the bench the whole time.
It's sometimes. I remember a totally different example, but I remember even further back when Bodo Illgner all of a sudden was the national team. And it was just kind of like he took over from Toni Schumacher after he retired. And then it was just like, oh, I guess we'll always have the Cologne guy be the. And it was like, this guy's only like 25. Like he was pretty. I mean, he turned out to be great, but he got the job sort of very unproven against, Andy Köpke. There were some other contenders who were kind of perhaps considered ahead of him, but he just kind of got the job, and that was it. Yeah, I guess people like to stick with these. There's not a lot of back and forth with that kind of thing generally. They're almost like the coaches of the national team. There's not a lot of turnover, but I mean we're turning them over more quickly now, the coaches. So maybe we should be turning over the goalies more quickly too. He's had a couple of very prominent. I mean, this was obviously a warm-up friendly, like no big deal. But the one against Real Madrid, that
wasn't a warm-up friendly.
That was a big turning point. Yeah, for sure.
That was a big deal. He spilled it and they won.
And I very specifically remember as the ball was coming his way, I was like, oh, well, Neuer's gonna.
Right, old school Neuer would have.
He's gonna hold on to this.
But this isn't old school Neuer. This is post to red-breaking 38-year-old Neuer we're talking about here. And also, Manuel Neuer has been. I mean, there's also something I should have looked up ahead of time. I don't think any goalkeeper has played as many tournaments as he had. He started in 2010. He was there for 2010, 2012, 2014, 2016, 2018.
He's had
2020, 2022. This is his 8th major tournament for Germany. I mean, Oliver Kahn, as we talked about earlier, had 3. Only one World Cup Oliver Kahn played in. Only one. And he's considered one of our greatest goalkeepers of all time. Still crazy to me.
Because
Oliver Kahn is. Oliver Kahn is one of
our greatest goalkeepers of all time.
You doubt that?
I mean, like how like what?
How many other goalkeepers? I mean, if that's right, that's maybe I'm a homer here, but Oliver Kahn is one of the greatest German goalkeepers of all time. I mean, I don't know why that would be a debate.
I think he's in the top 5. I would say.
I'd probably put him in top 3,
maybe 10.
Maybe 10.
Sepp Maier, Neuer, and
Ali Khan.
What? Tony Tulek?
Who else?
Tony Tulek.
He's number 4, but he was from the 50s. He did how many tournaments?
I
did he
mean,
play?
Bodo Illgner won a World Cup.
Yeah, but is Bodo Illgner better than Oliver Kahn? Do you think?
Yeah.
You think?
He's got better.
That's subjective, though, don't you think?
I mean, yeah. Guess what? It all is. But if you.
But Bjorn, you're probably the first person I've heard say that Bodo Illner is clearly better than Oliver Kahn. I don't think anybody.
I mean, in terms of his accomplishments for the national team.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about.
What are we talking about?
We got. I guess this is a goalkeeper talk. This is German goalkeeper talk. That's what we're talking about. But why did I even bring up? Oh, Oliver Kahn only played 1 World Cup. I thought that was a little unfair. He was under Andy Kopke's. He was Andy Kopke's benchman for years. Third, second choice, and by the time he got into the squad, he was already well into his 30s. I think he was 32 during that 2002. But the 2002 was a superhuman-like goalkeeper performance. Bodo Illner didn't do that in 1990. Oliver Kahn,
well, he was on a better team. He didn't.
Yes, a much better team.
Yeah.
In the history of the World Cup, there are a handful of people that had single, superhuman-like performances. Number 1 is Diego Maradona of '86. right? He was like a beast. He essentially won Argentina. People say single-handedly. It wasn't single-handedly, but almost single-handedly. You have other performances like that. But Oliver Kahn's 2002 performance, he was the German national team in that tournament.
Yeah, but that's more a knock on the German national team than it is it's like early in the season.
It's a compliment to him. He was a beast. You don't remember that tournament?
No, I do remember that tournament very well.
He was invincible.
He was very good.
Yeah, he spilled in the final, unfortunately.
But I'm saying that he also lost the fight. I mean, yeah, that we have to mention that as well. Plus,
therefore, he was dropped by Klinsmann moving forward. He also spilled against Real Madrid once as well, Oliver Kahn back in the day. But Manuel Neuer, this is his 8th major tournament. And Germany's acting like there was never any other option. I don't know. I think the talk is, the German national team in general is conservative, right? That they're not knee-jerk with their coaches. They're not knee-jerk with their players.
Nagelsmann was emphatic. This was not... When he was asked about this, he was like, this is not up for debate. It's Neuer.
Right. And he's the team captain. No, Gundogan's team captain. But Neuer is a vice captain at least, right?
I don't know. I mean,
he announced his vice captain.
The captain
Kimmich, Gundogan captain, Kimmich vice captain, and there's one more vice captain. I think it was Mani Neuer. I forgot what he said. But anyway, that's the big talk. It sounds like what camp are you in? Are you in the keep Neuer camp, or are you in the let's give Marc-Andre ter Stegen a shot this summer camp?
Yeah, I mean, I think ter Stegen. I thought ter Stegen should have played that last World Cup. I'm pro ter Stegen.
So you want Manuel Neuer to get benched this summer?
Well, I mean, yeah, maybe.
What do you mean maybe? Yes or no, Bjorn? You're not allowed to pull out. This is the point.
I live in the gray area. I live in the land of nuance, and I mean,
we're pundits. That's cancer to our work.
No, well, I'm not that kind of pundit. Anyway, I think it's weird. Well, let me say this. I think it's weird that this hasn't come up. I think it's weird that it hasn't come up. I thought it was weird that he was considered so untouchable before the last World Cup.
Right.
He's getting older. He's not as good as he used to be.
Right.
And I think it sort of sends a poor message where these people are untouchable, and then if other people play better, they don't get opportunities. That's not good for a team. So that's my larger issue. Like, should he lose his job because he spilled that one ball in the game against Greece? Like, who cares? Now I think it's also, I also understand that obviously Nagelsmann, he's made his decision, and so then he has to stick with the guy. He has to obviously give him his blessing. He can't be like, well, let's see what happens. Like, he needs to feel confident. But it's weird. Yeah, I mean, I think it's weird that he's been so untouchable.
Yeah, I mean, he's very good. I think we're going to see him in goal this summer. I'm curious if it's his last tournament. It has to be, right? I mean, how old is he now?
Probably
38,
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Surprised he made it this far.
So I guess ter Stegen still has some life left. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, and then maybe ter Stegen's up for the 2026 tournament here in the U.S. finally at 34. Great age to debut at. So Manuel Neuer likely will be the goalkeeper, despite there being talk. Bjorn definitely wants him out. He wants him shit canned. He wants him gone before
run out of town.
So shut out of town.
Just go skiing again.
Well, he will. He will. But the German national team.
I like Neuer. I'm not anti-Neuer. But I mean, yeah, there's other people. Competition's good.
I like Neuer too. I thought he should have retired internationally a couple times ago. I definitely thought ter Stegen should have been the keeper in 2022 because ter Stegen did the qualifiers.
26. Oh, 22.
No,
yeah,
2022.
last year. No, sorry.
Literally, Neuer was healed right before the
yeah,
I
thought that was crazy. I thought that was crazy. Although he wasn't the problem.
Right. He was surprisingly back to his old self right away after his injury. That's true.
So I guess this is the other thing I would say. In the scheme of things, this is not a big problem. Most of the teams at the Euro would be delighted to have Neuer in goal.
Yeah, and at ESPN FC, Shaka Hislop, the goalkeeper, was asked who the best goalkeeper going in the Euros is. He thought for a second. He's like Manuel Neuer. And it's hard to come up with an alternate answer to that. I think he is
who
the
else
best.
who else is better? Yeah, he's not bad. Yeah, so it's not a huge issue. We seem to know what the starting lineup is going to
Right,
be.
What's his face? Fulkrug has knee problems.
Oh boy, okay.
So he's
Yeah,
carrying
it's-
a knock, and that kind of answers the Kai Havertz is starting.
Well, it seems like it was Kai all along anyway.
Right.
But
now Dennis Undav
but now
is
he's
coming off the
really
bench.
and I think
Not
I guess
Nicholas Fulkrug.
I think who's coming off the bench?
Dennis Undav.
Undav, yeah, who I also really he's a proper 9-2. He's not quite as he doesn't have the size of Fulkrug, so he's not as good in the air, but he also is a good target guy. He's very scrappy. So I like him too. And I guess the Wirtz, Sané, Musiala triangle, they also all have a little bit of, so that's also going to be a fitness decision, right? Like whoever, although Sané came off the bench,
Are they who's injured?
well,
No
everybody's
injured?
got a little, like there was some, I mean, everybody's sort of fine, but also not, like there was some talk that all three of them were carrying little niggles. And so, but Sané came off the bench, so he seemed good. But it's probably going to be Musiala and Sané off at the start, I would think.
Yeah, let's see the starting lineup from Greece. Just so I
They
can
started
remind
with
myself.
Wirtz and Musiala.
Musiala, Wirtz, Havertz was starting three.
Havertz is I guess he is the 9 for better
Yeah,
or
he's a
worse.
9 with Gundogan behind him, Toni Kroos and Andrich holding, Mittelstadt left wing back,
Yeah,
Tah Rudiger
that's
middle,
his
Kimmich
start,
right wing
yeah.
back, Neuer goal. That right
Tah-
there is the
Tah's
starting lineup.
going to Bayern as of today.
Was that signed, sealed, and delivered today?
No, but closer, getting close, supposedly.
That's a good thought. Wow, I'm surprised he wouldn't stay with Bayer Leverkusen. But money talks. BS1.
Sure.
So, but this, I believe, against Friday, Scotland, this is the lineup we will see.
Yeah, I think it's Wirtz or Sané is the question, but
I think it's Wirtz. Yeah.
you think it's Wirtz? I mean, I think Sané was hurt, like that's why he hasn't started these friendlies, but he came off the bench, so it's. I think that's going to be a fitness decision, so it could be one or the other. But other than that, we know everything.
Yeah, if he's healthy, go with experience. I think makes sense, especially against a team like Scotland. In an opening tournament, you got to have some sort of experience out there. So they got Scotland on Friday. They've got Hungary, and then they've got Switzerland.
Yep.
The big thing with us Germans is this. We're coming off 3 very poor tournaments. The last Euros were not as poor as the other 2. That's correct.
Compared
However,
to the
not
World Cups, those were pretty great. But yeah,
great, but still not amazing.
no,
We're Germans.
Lost
we're,
in the quarters, that wasn't
We're a
good.
Final Four finalist team that won 3 Euros. Like we're expecting to win here, and we're at home now.
Yeah. Do we expect to win?
Yes, we're at home. We're young.
I don't expect to win. I don't expect us to win.
I'm not
I
saying,
don't. I think. I mean,
So
I
you're
think.
saying,
I think
I'm
what
saying
you're.
is Germany are favorites to, like, they're one of the favorites to. The expectations are if we win, it's not wow, what a fluke. It's we won because we won. We have the quality to win.
We'll
France
see.
is
I don't.
going.
I think what you're describing is German expectations of yesteryear. I think currently expectations are pretty low, I would say.
Well, that's what I was getting to. The big thing is we had 2 World Cup disasters. We had a sloppy Euros. We got rid of 2 coaches. Now we're on our 3rd coach to try to fix it up. And the last 6 months has been pretty positive, I think, going into
Really?
the Euros. Oh yeah, definitely. And I
I'm glad you think so. All right.
I mean, what I'm trying to say is, will this tournament feel again like a refresh? Will it feel like a 2010 World Cup? Will it feel like we're back? That's what I want. That's what the German fans want. Are we back? Or is it still the same crap where we can hold the ball forever but we don't know how to score? and like it's the same old crap we've suffered since that Confederation Cup in 2017. It's year 7 of the Germany malaise era.
7-year itch.
It's a 7-year itch. Is this summer gonna crack that dang itch? We got young players. We're hosting it. We got a young hip coach. And the results for the last 6 months have been pretty positive, I think. We've been playing pretty positively.
Up and down. Yeah.
I mean, down?
I think it's all friendlies, first of all.
True, we did lose to Turkey again. That was a pretty
And there
bad
was the
game.
Turkey game, and
Other than
there
that,
was
it's been pretty positive.
when Nagelsmann first took over, there was that, the US tour, and when I went to that game in Hartford, I felt great. I was like, this
Right.
is
That's how it
very,
began.
very positive. But since then, it's been a little. I would describe our team as a team that's pretty good, but then they struggle. They struggle to score goals, and often they also struggle to defend. So it's not. It's a pretty good team, but how pretty good are they really? Like with,
You heard it here
with
first,
those.
folks, from Bjorn Schitzel. Germany struggles to score goals, and often they struggle to defend.
I mean, I think that's true.
bad.
No, I think that's true.
Yeah, but
Watching the
that's
games,
all teams.
you were like,
That's all
"Oh,
teams.
this is good." No, this has been my my reaction to them. You see the lineup and you're like, this is a good squad. But then you see these games like, and then here's another weird goal given up. Oh, and apparently they can't. Yeah, I don't know. That's just what it's like for me watching them. So I can't be like, oh, we're gonna crush everybody. I mean, obviously, if we're not gonna make it out of the group, that would be shocking at home. Scotland, Hungary, Switzerland. It's not they're all sort of deceptively not bad, not pretty good. It's a pretty good group.
Not Scotland. Scotland is properly bad.
Listen, Keir Randall is listening. Okay, so watch what you say about Scotland.
Well, tell that to the hundreds of Scottish Twitter fans who
I do
were
think
surprised to be offered the fact that U.S. soccer might be a better level than Scottish football.
I think we're gonna. I think we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. These opening games can always be a little.
Are
nervy.
you telling me Scotland's going to beat Germany on Friday? That's what I'm hearing right now.
No, but this has.
Lewis Morgan's going to score 4 goals against.
Would a scoreless tie shock me on Friday? It would not.
It would shock me.
Okay.
I think. But the question remains. German fans have one question, right? Are we still what you're talking
German
about?
fans or you? Yeah, I mean,
Am I the only
time
one
will
who
tell.
think you're not thinking? Is the old Germany showing up this summer, or is it the Malays Germany we've had? You're
What
not
is
thinking
the?
that?
I think, but I think the but you don't. That's the fun about these tournaments. You don't know ahead of time. I mean, it's like, and I'm not being dumb. Like I genuinely could imagine either. If they, for example, if they get a draw against Scotland, this could become another very nervy situation, and they could really struggle. Or maybe, they get a couple good results, and then momentum. I mean, I think it is a good team that's really lacking coherence and confidence. So, okay, reasons why I think this will go well. I said already the reasons why I think it may not go well, because struggling to score and sometimes struggling to defend is not good. It's not good for.
They're the team that has those two problems.
It's not good for a soccer team. It's like, yeah, it's otherwise this team is great. Other than those two things, the team is really, really good. So that's the struggle to score and the struggling to defend could be a problem. Reasons why it could go well. I think number one reason, Robert Andrich. I think he really is the key player. I think he is a guy who we have not had in the last 2 World Cups, and that was definitely missing. Like in especially in 2018, it was glaring when Jogi Löw went with, who was it? It was Kroos and Özil, and who was the third guy? It was like 3 offensive, 3 attacking midfielders in the midfield. There was not a defensive. There was not a defensive midfielder even on the roster, Sebastian Rudi was the closest thing, and he brought him in for the second game against Sweden. That improved things a little bit. There was not any real focus on a defensive midfielder, and Andrich is that guy. So if he does well, anything's possible. That's number one.
Well, Tony Kroos is out there, wasn't he? I got the lineups here right now, I think.
Who was the third?
This is Germany, Mexico, 2018.
Yeah, who was
Germany had Timo Werner, Julian Draxler, and Özil were up top. No, Thomas Muller was there too. Sami Khedira played.
Sami Khedira, yeah. He's not
only
defensive.
Tony Kroos.
Sami
Khedira's not a defensive midfielder.
Not a defensive midfielder. He's an 8.
What do you mean he's not a defensive midfielder?
No.
Well, he was a number 6, and Tony Kroos was a number 8.
Yeah, but he shouldn't have been. He's not a 6, and that was the problem. He did not. He had Schweinsteiger to help in 2014.
Yeah, it was 2014. He wasn't there in 2018.
Who was right, and then Khedira on its own could not hack it. Yeah, I think that was the problem. I think then. And he brought in, if you look at the next, I think it was the next game, he started Sebastian Rudi, who was like kind of a peripheral player, but he was sort of the only D mid that he had on the roster. So I think that's been a real problem, and Kimmich hasn't done it, and so I think that's potentially. I really like Andrich, and I think he could be really good. I don't know, obviously we don't know. He hasn't played a lot for the national team, so we don't know how that's going to go. And the Kroos, I'm also, I have question marks about Kroos being back. We'll see how that goes. But at least I think this is a pretty good structured midfield, and I think that's a plus. I think the Rüdiger combo at center back is better than we've had. And I think the other big question mark is Kai Havertz, and he's really coming off. He went from being a real head. He went from being a real head scratcher at Arsenal to their leading scorer. So he also could have a breakout tournament for the national team. So I think those are the things that could go well. But the flip side is he's not a Knipse historically. He's had a couple good months at Arsenal. Hopefully this will translate. But that's where I would be cautiously optimistic. I look at the structure of this team and I find them more balanced than teams in the past. But they're lacking confidence, and they need things to go well on Friday, and then that's going to color this whole experience.
I predict a 3-0 blowout on Friday against Scotland, and it's what you're talking about. It's all the pressure, and it's leading into that one moment. They're hosting. It's the Euros. They've had this malaise. What do you got for us, Germany? I think Germany are going to come out swinging, and they're going to come out big. And they're going to score 3 goals.
I have that feeling too. I do feel weirdly optimistic about that game,
because there is this. This is my big question. Like I said, is it the same Germany, or we got a new reset going on? I love that Julian Nagelsmann has said the 2 best teams of Germany this year were Bayer Leverkusen and Stuttgart, chocked full of young new Germans. And he just took all of them with him. He's taking all of them to Europe. He's taking all of them to Euros. He's even behind a lot of the old heads that have seen better days. He's like, screw it. I'm taking the young. There's still a couple of Dortmund players and Bayern players, but there's also plenty of Stuttgart and Bayer Leverkusen players. They're young. They weren't there for any of this malaise, and also they're coming off, like, I don't know, these like Florian Wirtz was 11 when Germany started sucking. So they're coming off. A lot of these young guys are coming off a time where they don't remember a great Germany. So it's on. So they don't know any better to be very good. I hope. So you're right. The confidence has been destroyed over the last few years. So Julian Nagelsmann has done a really good job, really shaking it up. And I feel that this summer is the beginning of a soft reset of sorts. We still have to bring in a Tony Kroos because we needed that holding mid. But everybody else, other than Kimmich, who's decided to change the way he plays, he's sort of there. And Mano Neuer is, of course, there, but he's the keeper. Other than that, it's a new group of guys. It's, Gundogan's given more responsibility because he's turned into a man. you know.
I mean,
but
he's 30. Well, he's 32, right?
Yeah, he's like a soccer adult. He's like you're a Barcelona man. You get the captain's armband.
I mean, for all that youth, you know. There's also
So we have a good balance, but I think we got a soft reset on our hands, which we desperately need.
Listen,
and I'm hoping for a 2010. I'm hoping for a 2010 like young, exciting rebirth, which is what 2010 was. For the German national team, and
there was just there's just been a heaviness about them that I agree with you. I would like to see a little
have fun, go out there, attack,
a little bit more fun. Yeah, that'd be great.
Enjoy yourselves. You know, Scotland, you should be able to handle. People are giving Hungary a lot of credit because they have good qualifiers, but it's a tournament. Who knows? Hungary is no formidable opponent. There's a lot of history there.
Switzerland always good, not great.
Switzerland, but you know what's crazy about this tournament? Leading into the previews. It's a 24-team tournament, and 3 teams could leave a group, which in my mind ruins the group stage almost. Like the group of death is Croatia, France, Italy, and Albania. Right, poor little Albania. But it's not really a group of death because all 3 of them can go through, so no one's being eliminated.
Well, it's we have 24 and 16. Go through
right.
So
every top best, 2 and
the 4 best third place teams. Yeah, that's always weird anyway when there's math involved and
it's deflating a little bit.
That's true. So there's a lot of room for error.
Right.
But for the German team, there is not that much, because if they advance as a third place team, it's just going to be like, come on now,
it's game over, man.
I'm
feeling optimistic,
Italy,
but you're
Albania.
Yeah, I'm being optimistic about the summer that the reset's coming. I don't know. I watched the friendly. I watched Greece. I watched Ukraine. They're not blowouts, but they're very confident games. They're having fun. They're being creative with how they score goals. I haven't seen that in years. Germany, under the last years of Löw and Flick, were like, we know how to hold the ball fine, but we don't know how to
that
do
was
it.
like, right, Jogi Löw never saw a lateral pass he didn't like.
Right.
And it's definitely the verticality. The verticality has improved under Nagelsmann. That's true.
They can have the ball, go in the box, mach hin, and have fun and change it up. It's funny how many parallels there are to this and to the U.S. men's national team.
No, I agree. I agree with you. Except also the team often struggles to score and sometimes struggles to defend. So
how about the U.S. men's national team or Germany?
Germany.
Yeah, both. But do you
US
generally
team
think
is a whole other thing.
Do you generally think this Friday Scotland's going to hold Germany to a scoreless draw?
I said I wouldn't be surprised.
That would kill the tournament.
This used to be a standard. I don't know. The last few years it's not been the case, but when I was a kid, you would say just as a matter of course, it's like, oh, the opening game's always a scoreless tie. I think they were like 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 tournaments where that was true in a row. Because I don't know, everybody's nervy, nobody wants to make a mistake, everybody's just kind of in it to not lose it. The host team, these are just often nervy affairs. So, but
I always associate that with the second game, I guess, more than one. Because Germany's second game, even with Italy, like for the big teams, their second game tends to be a little rough.
Anyway, I hope you're right. I'm ready. I'm ready to go on the Germany hype train. At the slightest sign of promise. When was the last time?
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Germany hype train. Germany, France. All right, quiz. This is a quiz. When was the last time Scotland scored in a major tournament? What year was it? What year of our Lord was it?
1974 against Germany.
Now it's a little bit more fresh. It's a little newer than that. Split the difference.
I don't know. You got to tell me.
1998.
Oh, okay.
Who scored that goal?
I don't know.
Craig Burley.
Craig? Who? Craig Burley?
Our Craig Burley.
Oh my God.
Craig Burley, Mr.
Who we don't.
I don't know what the heck's going on, but I'll talk about soccer for an hour every day. Craig Burley is the last man to score for Scotland in a major tournament. Knowing that, do you feel better about Friday against Scotland? I mean, the Scottish have lineup. I'm sorry about your friend Keir, but the Scottish have really let go. Like they have lost it a little bit. They need
they
to
have.
get their
Well,
act
I mean,
together.
they're here. That's big for them.
It
They
is
haven't
huge,
qualified
finally,
for
yeah.
a long time.
And they made the
But
last Euros, but they got last place and scored 0 goals.
They have
last
some
year.
injury problems. They have a striker on their squad whose name is Shankland. I think that's not a good name for a striker.
Shank.
But they called up Lewis Morgan. I don't know. We will see. Lewis Morgan, by the way, with a very he came off the bench and he had a sort of a night. I just saw a clip of a post-game interview. He's a likable guy, Lewis Morgan. Unfortunately, it's too bad
Lewis Morgan.
Too bad he plays for this awful club team. But
New York
anyway.
Red Bulls are in Europe. How many NYCFC players will be playing in the Euros this summer?
zero.
Zero.
No. Yeah, zero.
Don't make up a player. Don't make up a.
No, I was like,
Shankly.
why is my brain objecting? And it's because a Bochum player is on the Slovakia squad. So one of my teams has a
world
player.
beaters. But anywho, I'm feeling so. We do okay. Let's do real quick before we leave. Let's do a quick. I mean, we got all the 24 teams. Who's going to win it overall? Who's going to win it?
Yeah. I don't. I'm not good at predictions. France are the favorites until proven otherwise.
Right.
Although they have some injury. It's like France and England, I think, are the favorites on paper. And then the everybody else is, always like Portugal perhaps.
Portugal in there.
Portugal perhaps, Netherlands perhaps, Germany perhaps, Spain perhaps. Those are the perhapses. But then
a large group of perhapses. Yeah.
But then the Euros are also notorious for having weird teams go on runs as opposed to the World Cup. In the World Cup, this never happens. But in the Euros, we had Greece win, we had Denmark win. We've had all kinds of weird stuff happening. So if we had to pick a team outside of all of those, you'd have to go with Hungary.
I would love for Albania to not. I would love for Albania to be the only team that gets out of that group due to a technicality. So Spain, Italy, and France are
Albania's going to go
through, and the other three are eliminated due to financial irregular or something. Like Albania's the only team, and then Albania just wins the whole thing. I'm down for that.
That'd be amazing.
If Germany doesn't win it, I want Albania to win it. All
right. Well, on that note, we're going to come at you after the Scotland Friday game, 5 p.m. on Friday, Eastern.
Every Germany game in the Euros, right afterwards, 5 or 10 minutes later, hop on YouTube, talk with the boys, talk the chat. Let's talk Deutschland.
Yeah.
Let's check in on we'll do something called
the
the
hype
malaise
train
check.
The speed of the hype train. How fast is the hype train going? Right now, it's going very fast.
How fast the hype train, and what's our malaise level? Is our malaise levels too high? Are malaise levels low enough? We'll see.
And the Neuer meter. The Neuer meter is also going to get updated at every.
That's 3 gauges. We've got 3 gauges like a car. We got 3 gauges going on here. Those are the gauges. All right. Join us for next hour. We're going to talk Greg Berhalter. Otherwise,
oh my God, we're going to so much Greg talk.
Bis Freitag. Tschüss.
Tschüss.